positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, man. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips every night, live.
Lifestyle, rated M for mature. Hosted by Damian Phillips. It's informative, provocative, and unconventional. Hosted by Damian Phillips. Lifestyle.
Chronics.
They don't know, and I said they don't know. Oh boy, they see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. But only you know, yeah. Only you know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. They see the dancing, them see the performance. Enough people see me life and want one, but them no know say more time it look dormant. And them no see say I'm me belly me a crawl pan. My mama just called me with tears in her eyes. She never know me have a stage show tonight. Not even she see the fears in my eyes, but me just a go and put on the show. Cause they don't know, yeah. They don't know, oh, but they see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, only I know, Jah. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Yes. In at the boiling sun, putting it on the street. Righteous music, me putting it on the beat. But nothing no righteous about all life said. If you don't know hard life, then you don't know life yet. Because my papa just call me papa to make him a screw. Him never know, say me have an interview. But me still have to put on the show because they don't know. I said they don't know, yeah. They don't know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside.
Ease out, ease out, ease out, Chronic, ease out. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. You hear me, Sarby? You hear me? Yes, I am. So let me welcome you to Lifestyle, and let me welcome all my viewers right now locked in live on YouTube, on my YouTube page, Damian Lifestyle TV, and also on Facebook. Good evening, guys, and welcome to the show. I have with me this evening a very important guest, and it go way, way, way back. Way back. As in, he was my math teacher in high school. So blame me not knowing math on him. Blame him. But then we had this, of course, it was teacher-student at school, but there was this mutual respect, and even out of school, we end up being friends, because you're not supposed to say friends in high school. So this is a brother who we talk about a lot of stuff. Even when I was in Jamaica on Satcom, he was my guest several times. So again, welcome Mr. Basil Graham, and he's the principal of the Port Antonio High School, which is my alma mater. Welcome to Lifestyle again, sir.
Thank you for having me, sir.
And in this time of COVID, social distancing, some people say it's physical distancing. Right. But I mean, you know, yeah, it is. But it is a good thing because, you know, I think I was practicing for this. This is how I feel, you know. But anyways, what we're talking about tonight, and let's not waste any more of the time, COVID and the school. What is so different? What is so new? Let's start like that.
The truth is that this is an unforeseen circumstance. our school used to be physical presence, teacher students together, and that interaction for a number of hours for the day. Now we still have students and we still have teachers, but literally out of sight physically,
right?
Except on the World Wide Web. So we have been having classes in this virtual way. So we are all together but apart, as we are now.
Right.
And so it is a new paradigm. I don't know that there's a formula, but we have been trying many things to have it happen. So it is a new experience for all of us.
So you say still having students, the present marking. And I remember going to school and that was a big part of it, marking being present. How you handle that part?
We account for presence, the way the system is structured, or the way we try to structure it so that we know who's there. Each, as you know, there will be class groups or forms.
Right.
So what we have done is to put all the students in the original forms in one group with their form teacher and their supervisor and the teachers that teaches them. And
interesting.
So the teachers share their contacts and their passwords daily for the students to pick up for classes. So we have a Zoom class, as we have a Zoom meeting, or you'd have had to send me the meeting, the
link, right?
And then having sent it to WhatsApp, you can see now who would have gone and checked it. So we know we can account for your being there. But that does not mean that the student, having gotten the link, actually turns up in the class.
In the class, true.
Yeah. So just like school, you have people who come to mark their name, but sometimes they hide away from a class or two.
True.
But they would have had it. In this case, you would not have seen them, but you'd have seen that they would have checked. And you would not have seen them come online. So it is like that we are going. And then the teachers, when they turn up to the class, because visual thing, they can account for who's there. So we ask the students to use their correct names and all of that so that we can identify them, just as the case when you see them.
Right, no alias. You will see that Basil Graham is in school.
Right, yeah, we can't use the alias, no, because the alias allows for other people to be there and all of that.
Right.
Have them and all of that. So the kind of security that we try to use so that the learning is not disrupted. There have been instances where some Zoom meetings have been bombed, as it were, like unscripted first. So
actually, you had that at Port Antonio High School?
No, not in our
okay.
We have heard it.
Heard of it.
The thing is that because we wanted to mark the students' names, it did not allow for that really. And we are not saying that our students were as unscrupulous as that. We have not had this experience. So
what is the percentage of the buy-in, as in students actually turning up?
All right, that's a serious problem, sir. When we started out with we are roughly 1,600 students. We started out with 780, and when we started to account properly, and now we are over 930 or so. So we have been growing over the deliberate time, making deliberate efforts to get to the students. But the connectivity, we don't think that we'll ever get to 100% online. Because of the attendant difficulties with Jamaica and the terrain and the service providers and the students' pockets and the socio-economic and so many things we have. These things are limitations to us, but they are real, and so we have to try to get around them. So there are problems. In fact, there was a class today, a grade 8 class in one of the shifts, where the form teacher has 25 students listed of the 32. But then, because the teachers were actually doing this thing before the COVID came, in terms of the WhatsApp groups and so on, one of the teachers had all the students, had 32 of the 34 students in a WhatsApp group, so we could make that adjustment. However, the next 2 students will not ever be on WhatsApp unless we are going to give them a phone. And data, but they don't have phone.
They don't have
that access. So virtually, they would not be in a class ever that way unless the system provides for them.
That.
So what we do in that instance, though, we have, as you're aware, some job sites around the parish.
Before you go there, so for the viewers, because we're on the internet and people can, as far as Dubai, maybe watching. What area Port Antonio High School serve? And almost a comprehensive. If I do, please forgive me. That is when I was there, 1993 to 97 somewhere. So Port Antonio, what area in terms of district they cover? You cover?
Port Antonio serves from as far as Hector's River. There are a few students who would have come from St. Thomas from time to time. But as a rule, they come from Hector's River and we go as far as into the junction, and we go as far as...
And that's St. Mary?
Into St. Mary, yeah. So we go to St. Mary as well.
Okay.
The bulk of our population is Portland.
It's Portland based. Okay. Right. So you can go ahead now with the drop sites.
Okay, so we have students from the Buff Bay Valley, we have students from the Rio Grande Valley, we have students from the East. And so we have gone into the deliberate centers because we can't go to every district, but every concentration point, every transshipment point or transportation point that you can think of. We try to use those as the drop sites for students to come. So we are as far as Dover right now, so that the students from Anota Bay and so on. We can't get into Anota Bay because of the attendant curfew there. Yes. So we can't get to that. It's a serious challenge now because some of the students, we really can't get into the curfew area and we can't just for that reason. So we have to try to work on something. I'm sure the security forces will allow that in time. Right. But so far we are, there's a job site at the Windsor Primary School down there. There's one at the Buff Bay Police Station. There's one at Orange Bay Police Station. There's one at Hope Bay Post Office. Swift River Post Office. There is one at Mount Pleasant. The clinic there, the school doesn't have a watchman, so it's not continuously there. We're trying to get one at Margaret's Bay. There is one, we have not located a point in Snow Hill because there's a big population, so we want to put one there. The Port Antonio High School, the main campus, is a site. It's a site, okay. Yes. Of course, we have a second campus in Fellowship, and that's also a site. And above that is the Windsor Primary School, that is in the Rio Grande Valley, that will serve Ginger House, Moortown, Belcaris, Bellevue, not Belcaris, Bellevue. And then we come around to Nonsuch. We have one at Nonsuch. We have in Fairway Hill, and I'm missing one. I'm sure I may be missing one somewhere.
We get the point. So what's the purpose of the drop zone?
All right, the drop zones serve to get to the students who are not able to or consistently be online. So we take the work to them. Physical printed papers in subjects, we leave them in a box at these sites that are manned almost 24 hours so that they can access them. Right. And the students would go and pick up the information, have a week to complete the work, and return it there, and we will pick up again and drop off a new set, and we try to get the assessments done. Wow. In terms of the progress, yes.
Wow. This sounds harder than normal school. I mean, no, I think the teachers, they don't have to deal with the attitudes like when me used to give Miss Thompson and the rest of them. But a lot of work is put into this, isn't it?
It has come a far way, Damian, because when we just started out, the students really never took it very seriously. I mean, it's new. And they had their friendship groups before. And so some language would be used and so on that would have not been in social service. Students would use it among themselves.
Right.
In a formal setting, so some of that was there. That has desisted. We haven't had that continue. And to also look at how they treat the information, it is getting better. As we were mentioning before, they would have come and checked, seen the link, seen that something is posted, for example, for math, and may not have gone on the link to get to the place. Of course, we use more than just Zoom. We use Schoology, we use Moodle, we use Moodle and so on. So
what is them, boss? I don't know what you're talking about. What are those?
Okay, those are other platforms that the students can go for interaction. The teachers can teach and you. For example, with the Zoom here, you could share your screen.
Yes.
You could type in and so on.
Yes.
But you wouldn't be able to upload work on it. But like Schoology allows that. They can leave work there for the students. So even the student may not have come to the Schoology link now, having had it, they can go back to it later on. So, different platforms are there for that. And of course, the ministry has provided us with some other tutorial sites, so to speak, where there is online teaching. There are video recordings of different subjects.
So they can go back and run. Okay, cool.
So you can go back. They can go and check on that. The only trouble with that is that the discrete topics are how they would have been approached in one school may not necessarily be the same way, right? But it's the same content. It's just how it is organized. So with the change in times, there's need for adjustment, but that is not a complaint really, because that's serious help.
Is the IT department, and let me actually boast about this, because which year was it? I think it was just 2012 or somewhere near there. I sat the CSEC at Port Antonio High School, taught by one Miss Harris. And yeah, how is this? And so now I think IT department is pushed to the forefront, even more than maybe some people that had it. How integral is the IT department in all of this now?
All right, the IT teachers at school are excellent. We have had very good persons from, and Miss Harris is no longer there, but
I figure
her name still rings.
Yes. She let me get me number one. So I'm if you not talk about Miss Harris. Oh, yeah.
There are others that are doing quite as well, and students are feeling the same way you are doing. But the thing is that those persons that are there now would have assisted us in the training of the staff at different points in the past. You know, so they are go-to persons when it comes to how do you access this, how do you do that right now. So the teachers and the colleagues are able to rock with them. They are friendly people, they are open to assist and so on. So whatever challenges we have, whatever help we need, they are our go-to. Those students we would have interacted with them since grade 10 would have had more experience at this than the rest of the school. As you know, would have tried to introduce IT and everybody go to the lab from grade 7 to grade 11.
Right.
In terms of a deliberate tutorial and interface. It is more at grade 10 and 11. Now, those students would have been used to online testing. They have been using many other things in terms of how we use the technology to do. So that set of students are more ready, but then because it is not is a novel thing in one sense, but because the students are accustomed to getting this kind of interaction, it's not an uncomfortable thing for them.
Right. So, I think the challenge would more be from the teachers getting onto it, because the kids nowadays, I tell somebody, if you have a grandson,
not with my staff, not with Port Antonio.
Interesting.
We are quite savvy.
Interesting.
I'm proud to say that we are quite savvy. A lot of the students are not as savvy as the teacher.
That is very much interesting. Hold it though, Sir Graham, hold it 1 second. Let me acknowledge my viewers on Facebook and on YouTube. Sorry, my apology. But yeah, when I'm excited, things like this kind of happen, and because I'm using the screen and all of that. But I have watching from Connecticut. Big up yourself, Barb Grant. I'm watching from the Bronx. That's Roy. Troy Watson. You remember Troy Watson, Mr. Graham? Troublemaker Troy Watson.
Sir.
He's logging. I think he's watching from New York. Him say hi, Sir G. Mas Cassandra Hall took over. Oh, so he's telling us that Cassandra Hall took over from Miss Harris.
Yes.
And of course, Troy is a past student of Port Antonio High, so we're very proud right now. So welcome again, guys. Keep those comments coming. Now that me switching back and forth, and YouTube, of course, big up to Prince. He was the first one that logged in this evening. So big up Audrey. Big up yourself.
Prince Hartley.
Chris, no, not Prince Hartley, not that one. Not that one. Another one. Yes, I think you're boasting about how.
No, I'm saying that the staff really tries to get with it. There are many things that we have done in the past prior to this thing here. There were many trainings that were done, and they fully participated. You know, sometimes people run away from the sake of it. They have embraced it. You know, they are quite good at it.
That's very, very important. So I don't know if you have a precise percentage, but maybe you can give me an average of those that you say will never ever get connectivity without actually getting an instrument.
Right. We have not defined that in terms of exact numbers as yet, but we suspect that probably up to a third of them will not be out.
Yep. And I hope the government step in and address that.
There are many things that are in the air as to how that can be addressed. Some students, by the time that is, because that's a function of the economy as well.
Yes.
By the time some of them would not be here, but hopefully the ones that are coming behind will be served by that. One of the other challenges I have is the data. We're on this now, and it burns the data rather than when you're on the internet and using the Wi-Fi.
Right.
So sometimes the students have a challenge with the access in terms of getting onto Zoom and being there for the time and using the data, and then subsequent tasks that is coming is a challenge. So we have been trying to limit in terms of how long we stay with everybody so that we can get.
Which I wanted to ask that in terms of timing in school. But before I ask that, Troy is correcting me that no, sir, is in Massachusetts. So big up yourself, Troy in Massachusetts. Watching from Barbados, Nancy. Thanks for joining. Originality, very interesting. Thanks. Who else there? Go. Good night. Good night to you too. Go. So if you're just joining us, let me say welcome to Lifestyle. I have on Zoom right now. My well, he wasn't my principal, former teacher, but now he's the principal for my alma mater, Port Antonio High School, and we're discussing school during COVID. So thanks for chiming in. Troy say, love the move, Sir G. Continue to do the great work you are doing. So in terms of timing, because I know Port Antonio was still on the shift before COVID, right?
Yes, still, yes.
Okay, so we still maintain the shift.
The campus, the former Fellowship Primary School.
All age, actually.
Yeah. Was assimilated, and we had the grade 7s there and there on whole day.
Oh.
Right? So it's a little different than it used to be. Because we're trying to one grade at a time shift to whole day.
Full day school. So in terms of online schooling now, what are is the same time? I heard you said that you're trying to limit the time spent, but
okay. Unfortunately, what this does is to also cut the instructional hours. When you're at school, the teachers, you have a designated timetable that you go to. Slavish and the number of subjects and so on. What we have had to do is to reduce the number of cut the curriculum in a way and cut some of the time that is spent in terms of direct face-to-face. So the students get more alone time, so to speak, filling, because it's not cost effective for them nor for us to be running as it would have been scheduled in a school.
So what's the average?
The average time?
Yeah, instruction time.
30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes. The Zoom time that is mostly 40 minutes. So
yes, there's a 40-minute limit.
So those that are going into the experimentations and so on, they have a little variation. So it varies really, but that's the average time. But we really, at that time, you would have gotten some time to make explanations and so on. And if the students are following and taking part, it does. Schools are a little different too. It is a little quieter on the on the internet. You can mute everybody's mic.
Yes.
And you can select who responds and you can know.
Right.
When you're in a class that somebody can mutter behind somebody's back, you don't know exactly who it is. And it might cause a little laughter, or, a little disruption here or there being students.
But like I said, I can just see it because I remember when I was teaching myself and you want to quiet, especially at the beginning of the class, you're trying to quiet everybody and it's just not working. But with technology now, you push one little thing and everybody's silent, whether they want to listen, yes or no, which you can't control that, even if they were sitting in front of you physically. So yeah, in terms of quietness, has there been any assessment, even, just initial, to say, are we really delivering or no?
All right, there is assessment, but as I say, we're not watching the numbers as such. We're watching the response.
Right.
Because the students will respond. And therefore, once they're responding, they would have been learning. There was a teacher who was complaining that, she observed, let us not say a complaint, she observed that the students that were in the online classes were given shorter time to respond than those that were on the job, the physical pickup. She was saying that it's not fair. I say, I don't think that is not fair, because you see, and there are concerns too that they can get help. And I said, look, if the person is helped to do this, as long as the person gets to interact with it, then it's fine. Those that are on the platform, if they go on and click and pick up something that is here rather than do that, they would have had to go and read it to find out the solution to the questions.
True.
And then be able to apply it, whether it is in full text or plagiarize or anything. So it still works, and they're still learning. And the more you do that, then the more accustomed they'll become.
Right. I don't know if you have this issue, but I'm very critical the teaching learning process, and I think part of the problem is from back then. This is my own assessment, no data driven, nothing, which I tried to change in the 9 years that I was in the classroom. I think teachers had this thing to say, well, me have what I have already, and is you have what I want. I think it was deliberate not to make learning easy. Do we still experience that or no? Instagram laugh.
It's a common point of view. I think that has persisted through time, but I don't know that is what is really meant even comments like that are made. Unfortunately, they are made from time to time. But I think it is a response to a lack of focus at the time where the teacher may become a little frustrated and say, look, I'm trying to get this to you. You're not paying attention. I already have it. It doesn't come across in the nicest way. But you know what? Those are some of the things that students remember. And some of the times, the more successful ones can point to somebody who may have said it to them.
Right.
And maybe it was the watershed moment that that person actually wanted to move off. I am not saying that it is motivational, and I'm not saying that it's the best thing to do.
Right.
I'm just observing that a lot of the times it comes across because of part of what's happening in the classroom at the time. And so the response, the unfortunate, is made.
Right. But not just the statement being made. I'm saying in terms of the delivery. Like I remember when I was teaching and other teachers.
No, man, it's a little different now. Remember that where we are coming from as a school. There was a time when people didn't expect a lot of things from the students who attended our school. It was as though you could just go there and at the end of the time you need.
Right.
I think the focus has changed and changed significantly over time and has been getting better and better. People have expectation. The school has been doing well. There is success, so to speak, in all areas, and the students are highly motivated and are working hard at it. The numbers of students sitting exams over the years have been becoming bigger and bigger.
Right.
So we would have started with 30 students doing English language. Now we're doing 250. So over the time, we have gotten to this now kind of a number. And the other subject areas, the successes that we have had, people are aware of what it is. And so the output from the school and the input of the teachers and the motivation and the fact that we could have seen other persons. We celebrate a lot of the students. It's prize giving day.
Yes.
Also, a lot of highlights. And in the co-curricular areas as well, 4-H debate. In fact, today, we had a virtual debate match with St. Catherine, I think it was.
Interesting.
And we won. Yeah, we won.
Big up Port Anthony.
Yeah, so there is success everywhere, and we celebrate with the students because it is they that are doing the work. The trophy case you see outside, we have had probably twice the number inside nowadays because every time we get it is not for the school to hoard and to hide in the building, it's for them to see what they can do.
Yes.
They are seeing what they can do, and they actually make an effort to do it. So, you know, times have changed, and we still have people who don't focus very well, people who are not well thinking. The good thing is that those are a minority and a very small one at that. So, you know, we're getting there.
I had on Turks and Caicos football technical director, Andrew Edwards, last week, Tuesday. And he was telling me that they have the webinar and stuff. They had a guest out of, I think, New Zealand and stuff. In terms of, you mentioned 4-H, in terms of extra curriculum, is that been done on the platforms too, or there's a pause where that's concerned?
Unfortunately, that has paused. The co-curricular activities have really toned down, except for the JS program, which is also a part of teaching the content program, attitude program. The others are main content. So we still keep the attitude program, like the human family life education. Courses, so that the students have an avenue to vent, to say what it is that they are feeling, to interact, to speak to the counselors and so on, as if it were a real school. Because we can't just address the academics.
Right.
We have also to look at the social aspect of the student. And while we are not necessarily in a way able to provide lunch today or to, you know, there is also the avenue of, look, I am having this challenge, and what if we are able to give you a donation for credit today? You understand? We are not a rich school. We don't have huge benefactors, but we try to get back to the. We are accommodating a couple of the boys in, I think it's industrial technology or geometrical drawing at A level, to come to use the facility of the school to do their work. The same thing will be done for some of the IAs where the students that keep this concern, bearing in mind that we have constraints in terms of the numbers that you can accommodate from time to time and so on. So we have to do that to respond to some of the needs. And it's not a big number of students that are requiring that, but the fact that we can respond in that way. Where there are the challenges, then we ask you to be prudent in the use of the time that you're inside, so that next time when somebody else comes, they can get to use it without the risk
factor.
catching the COVID if the other person
have it right. Marie is on. She said hello to you, Natalie Ellis. A blessing, my friend. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. It is Lifestyle, and with me this evening, I'm very honored to have my special guest being the principal of the Port Antonio High School, which is my alma mater. I'm gonna stop say that. So I hear the announcement say September physical school.
Yeah, that well. You have to understand, the minister would have said that because the hope and the intention is that this thing will go, and by that time we will be able to. At first, there was a 2-week assessment, then it had to be extended. And then to look at what has happened and how some things that have happened in the country, they decided to extend it a little longer and to take away some of the uncertainty in terms of how school operate, so that we can deliberately do what we do, rather than to think that in another week something else will change. So it is an attempt to give a little structure to what is being done. The unfortunate thing is that not everybody is engaged, but were it so, it would have still worked and would have been probably better thing to do at the time.
So, because I asked that to say, I mean, now you're getting the thing. If we have to do, say, another year on this, will it be at a detriment, or would it actually be getting better over time?
All right. In terms of instruction, I think the both practitioners, the students and the teachers, would become better at doing it, right? Because we are in teething time now.
Yes.
And so much is being learned. And it is a new paradigm, so there's no formula as such, but we are making it up as we
go along.
As we go along, yes. So we will be able, and I think if we have to continue this for an extended period of time, it will get better. And the truth is that school has to change. School will change.
Yes.
This has changed school as we know it. As to what it will be, it is to be decided. Maybe we'll have, who knows, 2 or 3 halls where we will have lectures and students can stay at home. Students who don't like to wear uniform and they want to be confined to can stay at home.
Right.
Since school requires a certain discipline and presentation, or your attitudinal change is nothing else. Mark uniform, but we look at how you present yourself.
Right. Which is shaping you for the working world.
Right. And so, but some persons are not concerned about that.
True. That's true.
So they will be able to stay home. It cuts out the transportation cost.
True.
In areas, and it also allows you a little bit more time. Not that it confines you to home, but you could be abroad, as it were, for a few weeks, and you'd still be in your class.
So let me
still be able to access.
So let me ask you this, because it's the first I'm using Zoom to do a thing. What will happen when the time run out? Because I see it counting down.
It's really going to cut off.
Okay, so once you cut off, do I need to restart a meeting?
Resend, yeah, resend.
So will I need to cut out everything, or I just resend and info it, or will you be allowed to click back in? I don't know. First time.
No, well, I am. You will have to resend an invite.
Oh.
Because you could have extended earlier, but we're busy doing this now. Somebody would have said.
Right. Because I saw something come up, but I'm not sure. But so if it cuts off, then I'll definitely do it all over again. Yeah, not a problem. So I see who is here. Tia is here. Marianne is here. So let me welcome Maxine to the show. Good evening, Maxine. I see that you need to be highlighted, so let me do that. Let me jump over to my YouTube to see if there are any comments over there to read. None. Guys, you can actually call in if you have questions. 614-373-7350. Let me put that up on the screen. If there's any question you'd like to ask the principal, you can do so. If you're a parent and you have some questions that you'd want somebody from this level to answer, you can do so. Caroline said good night to you too. So if you're just joining again, guys, this is Lifestyle, and we do this Monday to Thursday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. All right, so you said that you guys, with your, this is the teething part of it. You're learning as you go along, so you'll only get better. But I like the suggestion of, maybe people can stay home, and there's the benefit to be had where, transportation, and people who are familiar with Portland, knowing that it's not easy. That is something that has been a problem, especially coming out of the valley, the hills, like Rio Grande and, You know, and I hear that it's cheaper for students in Kingston than, you know, people in Portland.
Much cheaper.
Some people have to be paying 2 transportation costs to reach a school.
Much cheaper, man.
So tell me a little bit about the extended campus. So you started in September?
Yeah, we started in September. It was all the grade 7s are there on a whole day system, and we designated. It's a nice campus, and we'd have gone. Would have been able to add more subjects to the curriculum. Would have been able to add more time. I would have had more time in terms of the morning hours and the hours after school for students to get better involved into project activities and so on. And be safer in terms of their travel to and from school.
And let me boast again, because I did do 1 year at Fellowship, and Christian was the principal at the time, and Mr. Samaya was the speaking of that though, is it true that a former teacher of your institution is now now it cut off? So guys, that is what happened. I have to send the link again. So stay tuned. I'm just gonna re-add.
They don't know, and I said they don't know. Oh boy. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, yeah. Only you know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. They see the dancing, them see the performance. Enough people see me life and want one. But them no know say more time it look dormant. And them no see say I'm me belly me a crawl pan. Cause my mama just called me with tears in her eyes. She never know me have a stage show tonight. Not even she see the fears in my eyes. But me just a go and put on the show. Cause they don't know, yeah. They don't know, they see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you
know. All right, somebody just learned something. This is
and that's the same thing that happened to us when we practice here.
Yes, which not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. You know, I had a talk with somebody totally unrelated to what we're discussing now. And her take is we're being criticizing, and criticizing is not necessarily a bad word, but some people have it as such. That there are lots of people nowadays with smartphone, but they don't utilize it to learn nothing. It's all about just WhatsApping and Facebooking and Instagramming and fasting into business. Yeah, but you can learn something. Interesting.
Yeah,
Adjusted.
Many things that the phones have serious capacity nowadays. And you see, I think schools prior to COVID would have restricted the use of phones and so on.
Which we know the bottom line behind it, because it can be a distraction.
It was a distraction. It was a distraction. It was the unbridled use for other than academic purposes. And now it is going to become a central part of how we move on. True.
I see that. Guys, like I said, you can call me if you have any question for the principal re school and COVID. And I think some of this, like each school they're learning and they go along, but maybe there are questions that I guess can answer. So the number is scrolling on your screen, 614-373-7350, and you can call me via WhatsApp if you want. I can take those calls. All right. Again, with me this evening is the principal for Port Antonio High School, Mr. Basil Graham. So I heard some voice notes. I got several of them. And the first one, I think it was a gentleman it was a series of them, but this gentleman was complaining that, listen, my phone is my work phone, and if I do my business, I want to put on data for people call me from foreign and all of that. Have you had any negative that you'd want to share? You heard them?
Well, not with our school. I have heard no man. We those do the rounds, I suppose.
Yes.
That one was not as mild. That was mild compared to
others.
Someone else we would have heard.
Yes.
Well, so far we cannot not good as we say. None of that has come directly out of our school. However, it is a part of the system, and it indicates some level of frustration or some need for help. So we're not going to just knock it and throw it away. It doesn't come across. I had that come across in a way that it is more palatable, and the way the person set about doing was not the most considered way.
Right.
However, it indicates that it would have raised factors or raised conditions that need really to be addressed. And so, yes, there is real concern. And then, if you, the Observer today had an article, lockdown and locked out. It spoke about the students on a whole who were in the and they were looking at how the students were able to. One of our students, even one of our graded students, lamented that they need to be able to access their Zoom classes and so on. But that was a preferred way for the teachers in that way. And the data and the parent not being able to earn on the purchase of what is more significant at the time. You know, the truth is, Mr. Phillips, we may be workers and we have a salary, and we probably sometimes take it well granted that we are earning, and we look forward to a salary that we can budget and set out for a month or so. But there are other people who literally eat their living out every day,
yes,
in a struggle, and they have kids just like yours. They're human beings just like yours, and so there is another reality. So the plurality of the Jamaican society comes to the fore in this kind of a COVID crisis. The haves and the have-nots are those that have more food privilege than the others. Right? However, it's not slavery, but then it's either you have or you don't have, and you try your poor, is that you understand? Yeah.
Yes.
And so it raises serious issues as to how do we use this equalizing tool. Education is the vehicle that we would have all been allowed to use, but I don't know that the focus that is required for all of us to make maximum use is really utilized. That suffice to say, the conditions around us limit that sometimes. And so, a child whose mother is a bartender, who cannot operate for good reason, is unable to provide the additional things that they would normally have been able to do. And so the mother has to look at the saving. So look, do I buy it for data, or do I
buy the chicken back?
For food? Well, yes.
You know, and each time come with different trial, because I can recall in my years in high school or whichever school, it was similar because we had the book lists. And you'll have a parent that say, well, me I go prioritize the subjects that is necessary. So, you know, say maths is a must and the English, whatever that was, English, whatever, New Year. Yeah, so it was the same thing. So they had to prioritize this, all right, me I go buy the book or can I find the thing? And now we have the data, which is, I think, speaking of which, I don't know. I saw a news release the other day with a entity launching this whole internet thing via satellites and teaching and all of that. Is there any communication or dialogue going on?
The ministry is trying to. The ministry made mention of that, giving some satellite connectivity to students so that you can have better signal, because the data service that we have now is limited in terms of the coverage. Terrain and location and all affects that. So if that gets to come to the fore, then that would be a good thing for all of us, because it will serve the data into areas that now are not being served.
Back to the students that we spoke about. Sorry, you're a bit choppy. I think that is the data that you alluded to. So I apologize if it sounds like I'm cutting you off. That's not intentional. So again, guys, remember, you know, if you're watching and you have any questions that you want to ask, we have a limited time, something like 12 minutes. You can call in 614-373-7350 and ask your question. Sharina says, wow, him find something. Big up yourself, Sharina. And I guess you're not going to stay with us tonight, right? Or for the rest of the show, because it's not what you want to hear, I suppose. Back to the students that, you know, need more assistance where data is concerned and all of that. Is it, apart from your an instrument, because maybe there are persons with instrument but not the service, is there any assistance from ministry to in terms of data for the kids, or how is that being worked out?
Yes, there is a facility. They have provided data to students. students and teachers.
Mm-hmm.
It will in this time.
Mm-hmm.
So you inside, but you understand that there's a process, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
and it will engage you in time, and so you'll get some service to assist what is there. So that is being done for both staff and students. There's also the reach for instruments. There's a promise that they'll try to get some to some of the students, and the schools are asked to do where it is possible, depending on your budget and what is there.
I don't know if I'm venturing into something that I shouldn't be asking, but I'm still going to ask. You can decline to answer. So we know that there are staff that are normally a part of the running of a school, separate and apart from teachers. Were there any, and this doesn't have to be your specific organization or your school, are there any form of layoffs or stuff like that you're aware of?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. The for many schools too, including ours, we have had to furlough, as it is called, to lay off some persons. Some persons work with the school and not a part of the installation. They're not paid by the government. So they are contractual workers with the schools, and we have a few of that. And so during this time, we have had to lay them off. So it has affected us directly that way as well.
Yeah. And I know that must be a challenge because some of these people maybe have been a part of the school for years.
With the staff, I keep saying this. I said about the teachers, but it is also true, especially the stock shop staff that we have, and I feel the level of conscientious contribution that they make to the school, the level of support that we get from them. It is hard to see them now.
It's like a family member. You're not, you can't. Yeah, I know the feeling. Serena, and that is very nice. Hold on, Sir B. 1 second, Sir B. I'm staying. Education is essential. Good. Thank you very much. There's a very important question here. Nicole is asking, can past students get transcript at this time?
Yes, man. The administrative staff, we have done is to limit the operational time, but we have kept the time between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. The school is manned. Different persons at different times, so that the work is shared, and there's a person from each department and a person at the switchboard. So the calls can be taken, the emails can be read, and if you email, if you're abroad and so on, there's a response. Whatever the conditions are, you'll be contacted, and whatever is to be done will be done.
So I can tell you from now, this person is not in Jamaica. So you say email will work better for them? Survey data.
Port Antonio _high.
Go again. Go again. You kind of dropped out. Go again.
Port Antonio _high SCH at Yahoo. That is the email. You email to us, and we will respond and give you what is necessary guidance. And once that is completed, so yes, we are still open for business. We know that we have is not just students, past students. There are persons who come for different things, records, they come for transcripts, they come for references and so on. It is still there, still being done.
All right, Mrs. Francis, sorry. I hope that helped you, and you can reach out to me directly if you didn't get the email address. I'll get it to you.
Right, I'll give it to you shortly.
Yeah, man, not a problem. Because like I said, it's kind of choppy. And again, I think that is the internet provider. Okay, thank you, Tia, not a problem. So again, guys, if you're just joining, you're just linking us, we're talking school in COVID. And she said thanks. So Nicole responded and said thank you very much for answering that.
Not a problem.
So that, I don't know how. I don't know. What date did the did school close again? Remind me, if you can.
March 12th.
March 12th.
March 12th.
And there were 2 sets of closure, and then it went to full school close. Did that affect your school when the announcement was made about school close physically?
It came upon the system on a whole. I don't think at the time we were thinking like that. We were just getting into this. This is new. So when the announcement was made, there are several things that we had to rush to do, but it is what it is. They could not have known and would not have told us before because it's contagious. So having decided that it is going to be a problem, the school is probably the most dangerous place where disease is concerned. People come from many different places. They come into a very dense area, especially our school compound, 205 hectares. And to have 1,600 students to that place for a day, if all students come to school, you can understand. That's why with flu-like symptoms, our assistant start to come on. We are determined we will move them from the population immediately because the potential for contamination or spread is up to 1,600 homes, so to speak, at the end of the day, because you're going to involve the staff now from all categories as well as the rest of the students. Right. So we really have to be acting like that was a very serious step in caution.
There was a serious question here from a Marie, but it's slide, so I'm going to try to find it on my phone and read it. So Marie says, Mr. Principal, I'm concerned about the high level of ignorance coming from our people. This is concerning. Did the school system slack off at some time? I don't remember it being at such a high level many years ago. Is this the school system or the environment at home to be blamed? Well, question. Yes, Jamaican highly intelligent people. However, from what I see online, the lack of communication skills are horrific. I am not sure if you are willing to answer my questions.
Setting me up. All right.
Marie, my principal say I set him up.
The truth, it is what is promoted, because what you would have heard, and I think this referring particularly to the voice notes that would have brought some things forward.
No, I kind of have some insight of what she's saying. It's basically just on internet, on the Facebook, like bashing people is the easiest thing to do. Send them on them mother, that kind of. So that is the ignorance she's alluding to.
Okay. But you have to remember, this is remote. I could tell you anything now because you're that far away. Your anger that is going to
I see you. I see.
And is unfamiliarity. You don't know who it is. The picture that is there is not necessarily the person that you're talking to. And also, just being a bully is another thing. The personal preferences and so on. And of course, this is what really makes it talk. People who are kind and genuine, people who are more civil, don't get regarded, people who are express themselves differently. And so we'll be speaking, trying to use standard English. However, somebody who may not feel that they are able to equip themselves will say something in such a way that it draws their out. The truth is that many of us who are better able don't help, and so we respond in that way because you don't get attention. So we're back here.
Yeah. So I don't think, because as I say, and I've never looked at it like that, because there are people who
to further our question.
Go ahead.
School is becoming better and better at educating persons. More persons have access. More persons are being in school for longer periods, and so on. So the home or the society around the school, meaning the people who come to school, is what is going to make the difference. So help school catapult into what is a gentler society. So if the priority of the house is on education and the child is made to see and to regard education as a priority, then the child will, even though that child may give instruction of education in such a way that it becomes limited. So is one-on-one, the school is a microcosm of the society. So the school affects the society and so they affect the school. But if the students learn, there are things that are learned that are not necessarily taught As I was saying before, you block the road because you want attention. That does not mean that the attention would not come if you didn't block the road. But it appears that that's the fast.
That is the reason.
So we use that.
Yeah. You know, and I think also too, let me try to tie this in, because over the years we have viewed an educated person to be somebody with a lot of passes, which is not necessarily the case. So I think part of the problem, because I think as Mary was asking, there are people who they may have the masters or whatever, but you say something to them or them not like, or they disagree with you, and them send you on their mother to extract vaginal fluid. You know, that doesn't mean that them not have no subject, or it no means say
they're qualified not to be they are qualified and not to be.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying. It's more like a cultural thing, which is
education
true.
Changes a man.
Yeah, which is so true. But I think part of the parallel is back in the day, you wouldn't see, for example, somebody who went to a reputable high school bathe in a kind of way or act a kind of way. Like in my time, me I say whenever I used to cuss bad word, but me I say things and time change. You know, we know. And not to big up Titchfield over Port Antonio High, but there was always this stigma, which thankfully we're cutting down. Because me here say, not to talk politics, but me here say have students leave Titchfield to where can't ever read. You know, and like with Port Antonio, our passes are improving every year, and all of the good things. We can boast about the cheerleaders and all of them, something, the football, sports, all of these kind of things. But I use them as an example where I say, you wouldn't hear said over peer or over the library and hear somebody in their uniform using curse words and all of these things. You know, society just gone.
Yes, sir. I think the idea of privilege in the past, that you were privileged to be at certain places and not others, would have given some persons pride, and which was good. And you know, to have opened up, so to speak, and everybody the same opportunity. We want to say that it is no contest and people don't value it as such, but it's not necessarily true, because as you say, others are benefiting from it in the other ways. It's just the level of richness amongst us that is probably related to our socialization rather than the fact that we are being taught. You know? And the truth is that the avenues for the way that we have loved to have them, and so people may choose to do this as a matter of expense, you know, rather than before go. Because when we go to another place where something has to be done another way, it is done. So that we don't do that.
Let me apologize. Like I said before a couple of times, the audio is a bit choppy, but Mr. Graham is making a sacrifice right now. He's using his data, because we arranged to have the meeting and he went home, and for some reason no internet at home, so he's using his data on his phone, which is that a personal sacrifice. So bear with me, people. We're still trying to get, although 10 o'clock gone. But as Serena says, she has a question. Please go ahead with your question. And Mary is responding, and she said, Thanks for answering. I appreciate it. Hillary says, good evening, Honorable. I am also a past student, but my question to you is, the student in Long Bay, Blackrock Fellowship, and all the other surrounding areas, is internet in all these areas?
There's internet service. As the persons on mobile can get data from the service providers. However, for my community, we have land service, but today it is not one of our best nights. And so there are attendant problems for many reasons go. Sometimes in our country, a few meters of the cable out, and so transmission is lost in some areas for an extended period of time until they discover where it is. You know, so there are many reasons why these things happen. And Wi-Fi is best, but who pays for it? Who provides it? You know, where's the area that you're going to get it? So internet roam.
You there with me, sir?
In Jamaica, yourself will not get a call.
Okay. All right.
So you have that problem.
I'm trying to wait on what's her name? Serena's question. She just said, can I ask a question? I may go ahead. But guys, it is 10:03 and the agreed time is 1 hour for the show. So I'm going to give Serena a couple more Serena, a couple more seconds to get your question in. You say, I have a question, and you raise your hand. So please go ahead and ask the question. Or anybody else who want. So Sergi, I don't know why I'm calling you Graham, and it's Graham, and I know that. You taught me in school.
I know that man used to be a sponsor, so that's
you decided to the mind. Yes, sir.
A good man,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me ask you, because Port Antonio, what is the vibe now in Port Antonio? In terms of the curfew, I heard that it's been relaxed. Is it today the new time starts, or?
Yeah, today we shifted from 6 to 8. But I think Port Antonio people are cooperative. There is not much disregard for the orders that have been made. The police and the persons get along very well. And for the most part, persons are cooperative. Of course, you're going to have, as is anywhere else.
Yes, the 1 and 2s who just not sticking to.
So, I wouldn't say Port Antonio problem. At the edges of the curfew, people go home. People who are not supposed to be out there, people who are not want to stay at home, just stay away. You know? So I don't think we have that problem.
And in the terms of wearing a mask?
Yes, man. In fact, there's most persons are putting up on their doors now. No mask, no entry.
No entry. Interesting.
Yes. So there is cooperation, and the people have it in their pockets, even if they don't see them. So they want to go, they put it on.
They put it on once
it's a fashion now. We have it on the chin
or up the forehead,
hanging from one of your ears. Like, you know?
Yeah, we see that.
It does happen, but it is worth. It is worth. I mean, where it is required for use, it is produced.
Well, condolences to the he's a retired or was a retired teacher, right?
Mr. Yes, recent, I guess.
Yes, you know, so
may
soul rest in peace.
Odell Mangaro, be careful.
What did what was his subject again? Science?
He's a science teacher. Yes, he was a science teacher. Unfortunately, he passed. Survived by 2 daughters and a son. We will mourn him. He made his contribution.
Yes.
So we love Mr.
Definitely. I'm not seeing the question from Miss Serena. So Lorraine watching from New York. So big up all the viewers this evening. Is there anything else you want to add before we leave, Sir G?
Just to be a little partisan, to say to our alumnus out there, remember your school, get involved, see us, come share with us. I think those of us that are here need to be reminded that there's a struggle, and for those of us who have made something of our life can come and share it with our students, you know. And if you have donations to me, we will accept that too. But the fact that you can come and persons can associate themselves with change and betterment as a school will be the first.
Speaking of that,
many of them are popular.
Are there any dire need of the school right now that, you know, because that was brought a while ago? Is there anything that the school really, really need? And of course, we're not going to just be like this for the rest of our life. Like, it is going to go back to normality.
No, man, we have many needs, man. We have many needs. We have many needs. This underscores the need for technological input. Right? So that's one. In terms of our big ticket items, the sporting institute, the sporting activities and the corporate activities take a lot of funds. That we will need serious assistance with, whether for purchase of equipment or camping and so on. You know, there's because the way the school is, we have to engage in some activities. So that kind of a support, nutritional support, supplements and so on. Not steroids, supplements. These things are simple things like vitamins and so on are needed from time to time. You know, that we can get. And of course, books, we can't overemphasize the need for books because students really need it. Even sometimes toiletries have become important for the school to give to some persons. Right? That's true. And so we don't go around naming and saying these things.
We did this, right?
These are some of the ways in which students, right? There are persons who the school, for want of a better word, have to support for them to be there. And there are people who do very well. So poverty is a limiting factor, but where we know and where we can, outside of the FAST program, we still have had to. And we do that. So we take help in any way. And motivation is really one of the other factors that we need to look at, as I say. if those that are skillful and blessed among us can come and say, look, this is my alma mater, this is where it all started for me. Secondary level school is the watershed time in your life. So you would have known what the contributions, and you have seen where it has led you.
Right.
So while we have so much information, now we still have ignorance. So we need to associate with it, and that would be good for us.
Sarah Jade Smith said, good interview. And Hillary is asking, did you hear the voice notes from the mother in Jamaica? And we spoke about that, and it's not the voice notes. There are several. Sir Graham, I can't leave without having you selling my school and boast about some of the achievements over the years.
All right. We can talk about this, sir. For the past 12 years, we are parish champions in 4 years. We are perennial into the second round and going to the quarterfinal round to Dakar Step. Cricket is unmentioned. It will just continue that we are there. In fact, just this year we were at Orlando. We were at cheerleading finals. We came second in our group. We are debating, so it's considered. I just mentioned today that we canned St. Catherine High. The 4H persons in nationals as a parish do very well too. Red Cross has a significant impact. It touches the community around us, and we were the first school in the country to have former anti-human trafficking club, and we would have had a generation of those since that, and we would have been sensitizing people along that line. We give audience to persons in what's that called, the uniform cadets, Girl Guides. We allow for expression in science and exhibitions and so on. There's also the social aspect. For example, the ICF. The school allows for the student to be a rounded person. We have a strong technical component. This is what most persons know it for. They think of it as a skill, but it is more than just getting a skill. It's getting an education and a skill. So we have a strong technical department in industrial techniques and also in home economics, or human ecology as it is now called. And we offer subjects at certification in CSEC, at CAPE, at NCT VET, at City and Guilds. There is a place for everybody. And of course, there is the opportunity for you to excel. Agriculture is a mainstay. We have state-of-the-art equipment and persons who are there. We have a greenhouse to produce and sell vegetables. We produce our own protein. The guidance that is given to the students at school is such that the teachers become their parents' proxies, as you would have seen. We don't have money to pay coaches and other chaperones from outside. It is the teachers and the students and the parents who come together to make this happen. So it is a family institution. We are very close. We have our pride is easily bruised because we feel it directly because we are so in touch with everything that goes on. And so it is a and make and determine the life for yourselves. And if you choose Port Antonio High School as your place of study, you could not have done a better thing for yourself. All you have to do is to avail yourself of the opportunities that are there. It's a place where we have made and we continue to impact people in every way. There's no facet of life that will be left out if you were a student at Port Antonio High School. All you have to do is to just believe. It is there for you to exploit. We recognize excellence. We have our pride in our graduation ceremony. We have a criterion that is such that students who are eligible for our internal criterion are students who actually go out and do very well elsewhere. If you walk around Port Antonio, the town itself, and you will meet many different persons in life, more and more of them are coming out of the woodwork. Let's say coming out of the woodwork, they are identifying themselves directly with the school to say that, look, this is my alma mater. This is where we have gone. You know? So over time, we have gotten this pride, or we have returned to our pride. The expectation is high, and we want to do that. So we are a growing school. We are not. We don't want to look at where others are. We are developing ourselves.
Exactly.
And seeing to it that we are making ourselves but all that we can be. And so doing will complement or will make the parish better for the other efforts that are being made elsewhere. And the truth is, we share the town with our arch rival, but we don't have a rivalry that is physical. Right. So the cooperation from staff it is not seen on the outside, but I can tell you that we share a lot. We share a lot, and you know, we don't highlight it a lot, but we do share a lot.
I have three final questions. I have three final questions. The ministry spoke about twinning of school. We reach Port Antonio yet or no?
We are not in the twinning pilot. The twinning pilot
is the pilot running on right now? Okay.
No, the pilot has gone in Portland, the pilot in Portland itself. In other words, there are only 2 schools in Portland that are already twin. And that's Fair Prospect and Fitchfield, yes.
Okay.
That is being worked on, yes.
Okay, cool. So I have 2 more questions, but my viewers, Miss Redwood is asking, since schools are under lockdown, are there online competition the schools are engaged in, or the school are just focused on this circulation? Or is that character? Go again?
No, man.
I'm losing you, sir.
Earlier that.
Yes, we did, but the person just come on. So
mentioned earlier that today we beat St. Catherine in debate. That's an online. That's an online activity.
Right.
You
know. Hillary say, I'm a part of the Port Antonio Association in New York. Principal, I met you in New York. I don't know if you remember Hillary.
2 years ago.
Yes.
I was there 2 years ago. Yes. I don't remember everybody, but it was a nice occasion.
Nice gathering.
And those guys supported us. Yes.
Cool. So my curriculum, I figured, Aisha. Port Antonio, that's my my place and school. Big up John Thompson. So my final 2 questions, Sergi. How long since you have been a principal?
9 years.
9 years. And I'm not by any means trying to send you into retirement, but what would you say your legacy is within that 9
years? Know that I don't want to claim any one activity, sir. The school has been growing over time. Every principal before me would have made a contribution and made a mark. I was to take credit for anything, or if myself and the staff should take credit for anything, is to give a level of focus that is a little differently. We have changed the way the curriculum was arranged. We would have given widened it a bit. We would have also given the 6th form to the school. We would have also been able to and the other clubs and societies. You know? So I have been able to be credited as a leader during this time of wide expansion. You know, so I think my contribution would have been to galvanize the energies that is there right now to higher heights and wider depth, you know.
And I can add to that because I remember being a part of several events like daily debates and all of that, and acknowledging kids that did well in whichever grade and school. And me never tell you and Miss Harrison this, but I actually felt jealous, and I'm like, why them something never happened at my time? Why, like, you know, all of that? But I'm talking about, for those of you who may not understand that. So they had like a day where they just acknowledged the kids that did well in the grade, you know, like 1st place, 2nd place, and you know, and I remember one idea that I did, and I was a part of it, but I'm like, yo, why would I do them something I know and not in my time? So I think that came under your stewardship, sir. So continue doing. I don't know if you want to respond to that, do you?
Oh man, as I said, sir, I don't think that I'm a dictator. I think that we have a cooperative synergy between myself and the staff, and we share a lot together. We have differences from time to time, as is customary, but I think the galvanization of the force and the commitment to task and the willingness to make the effort and to go into these other areas have almost come seamlessly. So I wouldn't seek to take credit to say that this is my initiative. This has been our initiative over the time that I have been here, and building on what has been left by the persons who have gone before.
Sarah said, a very humble principal. And again, I'm going to boast. He's the reason why I don't know maths, because he taught me maths in high school. I don't remember which grade, but yeah. Sergi, thank you very much. Thanks for accepting my invitation. And I wish you all the best. Continue doing what you're doing and just raise the banner some higher levels and doing what you're doing. Ms. Redwood says, congratulations, sir. Continue to impart knowledge. So thanks again, sir. Thanks for spending a part of your night with us. And it was appreciated as you heard the comments read. And all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Respect. And all the best to everybody there. All right, keep safe.
Thank you, sir. So that was my interview with the principal of the Port Antonio High School. And you heard it for yourself, what they're doing down there. And all of that, man, put this in the middle there. So thanks again for joining. Let me make sure I go over to YouTube to see if me leave out anything. Hey, Tristan, a data me I used to. I want to thank Tristan, me repeat, for joining us this evening. And is something wrong with the with the internet in Port Antonio, or you just up to use data? So for those of you actually being using your data, including Mr. Tia, said 10 out of 10. Thanks again for joining. Those who viewed from all over, thanks for the love and support. And yeah, let us just keep on doing what we're doing. My name is Damien Phillips. I'm your host. We do this Monday to Thursday. So tomorrow night, this Thursday. So we're going to look at the story. May I make sure to tell enough friend know what the topic is going to be. I don't know if I'll be getting any guests, but I saw a story in the Star that says that a university student have turned to that's something we talked about last night. If you're never there, you're not going to get it. So that is the topic for tomorrow night. Turn to, in terms of COVID and all of these things, turn to a money making. So the professional them complain and then the students turning to it. So let's see what happens. Again, guys, my name is Damien Phillips. I'm your host for Lifestyle. We do this Monday to Thursday, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. If you can be good, be careful. Remember my YouTube page. It's Damien Lifestyle TV. You can go over there, subscribe to the page, knock the hell out of the notification bell. So when I go live, you will see whatever is posted. Yeah, so that's it. Until if it's the will of the Father, I'll be here to do another episode of Lifestyle. Thanks for joining. Till then, can be good, be careful.
Chronics. They don't know, and I said they don't know. Oh boy, they see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, yeah. Only you know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. They see the dancing, them see the performance. Enough people see me life and want one, but them no know say more time it look diamond. And them no see say I'm me belly me a crawl pan. Cause my mama just called me with tears in her eyes. She never know me have a stage show tonight. Not even she see the fears in my eyes. But me just a go and put on the show. Cause they don't know, yeah. They don't know, oh, oh. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, only I know, Jah. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Yes. In at the boiling sun, putting it on the street. Righteous music, me putting it on the beat. But nothing no righteous about how life set. If you don't know hard life, then you don't know life yet. Because my papa just call me poverty, make him a screw. Him never know, say me have an interview. But me still have to put on the show because they don't know. I said they don't know, yeah. They don't know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Only you know, Chronics. Only you know, oh, yeah, yeah. They see you smile, boy, but they don't know what you feel inside. Yes, So love me make me ball, love me make me cry, cause they don't know what I feel inside. Love me make me ball, leave me what I feel. Yes I. Oh, and I say love me make me ball, love me make me cry, cause only I know, yes, Jah, yes. Only I know. Them say, Connie's company, Joe and Donny. Him and him bandsman friend, them bunny. But them never know, say I one shirt. Me have to wash it and me have to sun it. Them say me take the stage up.
Lifestyle with Damian Phillips. Keep it locked.